That's one for Peep. If I would have watched interviews sooner, bro, we were so alike. It's unfortunate because it's like, yo, when people die, that's when we like, you know? Because your remorse kind of makes you check them out. And I just can't keep on fighting. Oh, oh, oh.
Exclusively on YouTube. We're going to continue the conversation from First Take on television, our live show right here for you guys at YouTube. Hey, Stephen A. The Warriors held their media day yesterday, and Draymond Green was back in the headlines. Draymond coming off a drama-filled season in which he was suspended twice. Now, despite this, he didn't shy away from this back and forth with a reporter. Take a listen.
You know people worry about you. Fans, maybe your teammates.
Why they worry about me? I am a successful black man in America doing incredibly well. What's the worry about me?
They worry about you.
There are way more people in this world to worry about than me, that's for sure.
But we're here now. So
we're all here. I don't think you should worry about me.
Okay.
I'm doing pretty well. If you would have told me when I was 13 years old in Saginaw, Michigan, without a pot to piss in, that you'd be sitting here and somebody would say they're worried about you, I would have probably told them they were out of their mind. I'd be sitting here and they'd be worried about me.
Well, they're worried from themselves too. They want to know.
They don't feed.
They know the team needs you.
So why are they worried?
Because they know the team needs you.
But they don't feed
and
them.
They don't know if
their
you're going to be here.
Doing this. I'm here. I've been here for 13 years now.
If you're going to be here every night.
Been here pretty much every night for 13 years.
What I'd love to know is who they is. Stephen A., what did you think of this exchange?
I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I was very uncomfortable with the question. I'm guessing, I did not see the reporter, didn't know his name, but I'm guessing it was a white man asking him that question. And I think that one of the things that rubs a lot of black people, particularly black men, the wrong way is when you come to them and you try to imply a problem is bigger than what it is, because they tend to get emotional. Like, for example, Molly, I'm screaming A, so I must be angry, but white folks get loud and all of that stuff, and they're passionate and they're energized. These are the kind of things that come along with us being black men. And I think that when you listen to Draymond Green, that's basically what he was saying to some degree. What are you talking about being worried about me? He's not breaking any laws. He's not in the streets running around. He's not conducting himself like an uncivilized human being or anything like that. Does he need to control himself when it comes to those suspensions? Sure, absolutely, because he's going to be a target for the referees, because he's got to learn how to cool it down. That's fine. They were 11 games above 500 when he was on the court. They were 1 game below 500 when he was off the court. So that amounted to like a 12-game difference. I understand that. Well, you can legitimately argue that had he not gotten suspended, the Golden State Warriors would have been in the playoffs. But still in all, you got to be very, very careful when it comes to the verbiage that you approach a proud black man with, considering with the challenges everybody faces in our society, but particularly black men. This is why when Kevin Durant came out and said what he said about Draymond Green, when he said, I hope he gets the help that he needs and stuff like that, I went ballistic about that, because I was like, you don't bring that kind of attention to Draymond Green or anybody else, for that matter, unless you're sure about that. You don't make that kind of implication. And you're on the court, you're competing at a high level. People rely on your passion and your fire. You're the Golden State Warriors. You want him to remain under control enough not to get suspended, but you want that energy, that fervor, that passion, because it galvanizes the Golden State Warriors, and the proof is in the pudding, because they won 4 championships over 8 years and went to the finals 6 times. And so because of it, evidently it worked for them to some degree. You can't turn around and then look at him and say, well, people are worried about you. What the hell does that mean? What are you trying to imply? Worried about what? Because it took on a greater connotation rather than just basketball. And that's what Draymond was saying, and I stand totally by him in that regard. I think it was wrong to phrase the question that way.
And I also feel like, Stephen A., it's the worst day you could ask it. Media day, the beginning of a brand new season. It's like, if you wanted to ask that in the midst of everything happening, but you're trying to start a new year fresh, I just feel like the timing is also off.
I won't go that far. What I mean, how you phrase the question matters. But if he had asked the question, well, Draymond, you were suspended twice last year. You realize those 2 suspensions arguably cost the Golden State Warriors a playoff berth. What have you learned from that? What should we expect to see from you differently this year than we saw last year, so that doesn't happen? That's a fair question.
Yeah,
even
but it
on
wasn't
media
phrased that way.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's my whole point. The way the question was phrased took on an entirely different connotation that I dare say was far more offensive.
Yep, exactly. Thanks for watching First Take exclusively for YouTube. Make sure to tune in weekdays on ESPN, 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll see you tomorrow.
Dan Orlovsky joins us from Miami. And Dan, I'm going to get to the Titans side in a minute. And I want to frame this appropriately, because obviously if Kansas City doesn't have Mahomes, they're not the same football team. But I am baffled why the Miami offense without Tua, who doesn't have superhuman arm talent, why the offense doesn't look like something similar to what they do. Those quick reads. They threw that one to Tyreek across the middle, and I felt like you all are in the booth. They're like, hallelujah. I just don't get it. What are they doing?
Yeah, it's tailor-made for Tua. It's probably, Scott, one of the most intricate offenses in the NFL, and it's a lot of stuff that's hard for people to understand at home.
Okay.
You know, when you have an offense that has got so many moving parts when it comes to the different formations that you get in and all those motions, and it's not just motions, the timing of the motions, and then the pass concepts that Mike McDaniel can then build with Tua, because he sees things before they happen, probably better than anybody in the NFL in that timing, anticipation world, and that's his superpower. And to think that you're going to take any other quarterback and kind of just plant them in there and run it that way, let alone after the snap, right? But before the snap with all those moving parts,
right,
it's basically impossible. And I've said this for a long time, man, like, if you want to see the value and how good of a player he is, Watch this offense right now.
No, and I understand what you're saying intuitively, right? That it's intricate, there's layers and levels to this, as the saying goes. It's just, it seems that some of those quick reads you might be able to try to hit, and it just seems like they don't call those at all absent Tua. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair. And also, I do think there's an element of, Tennessee defensively, they just decided to kind of sit in the middle of the field. They didn't pay attention to a lot of the eye candy, the motions and whatnot, some of the ball handling. That's another thing that Tua is amazing at is, the ball handling that goes on that sells things to the defense, and that's lacking as well. So you're as a play caller, you're trying to figure out what gives us a chance to at least have some form of success. And it's a passive play calling rather than an aggressive play calling. It's a hard task, right?
Understood.
And I think that, with all those elements attached to it, you're just trying to get some plays started, and that was the challenge for Miami tonight.
Dan, pregame, I picked the Titans for the simple reason that I said you can't fake desperation, and this is a game you have to have. You can't afford to fall to 0-4. If desperation is reflected on their defensive side and then on the offensive side with their backup in there, if it was reflected to you, where was it evident that this was a team playing with a we have to win this game sort of a passion?
Yeah, Brian Callahan coming out in the second half, their head coach and play call and throwing the ball 4 times. It was, we're going to run the football with our offensive line, and Tony Pollard and his father's one of the greatest offensive line coaches in the NFL, and said, we're not going to give the game away. Miami, with a quarterback that has been here for 2 weeks, is going to have to beat us, essentially. And that's kind of what happened. Mason Rudolph, in his own words, didn't have to do much. And this is a football team that when you talk to them, Scott, it wasn't fake in their belief in themselves. They, to a man, coach and player, said, we know we're 0-3 and you are what your record says you are, but we're not. They truly believed that outside of 2 or 3 plays that, boneheaded mistakes in many ways.
Yep.
So this was a team that felt if they could get rid of some of those and just play a brand of football that was, you're going to have to beat us rather than us giving it to you, that they're going to be tough to beat. And I firmly believe that. I honestly believe with this defense and the way that they play and the left side of their offensive line, they'll be a tough out.
Look, I give them credit. That game against Green Bay was rough. After a couple games they could have won, they didn't look good. They flushed that. They go into the bye off a victory, and then they can sort the QB situation out during that time. Been a blast to listen to you guys. Look forward to doing it a little bit later this year, Dan. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Legend.
I appreciate you very much. Dan Orlovsky in Miami. For the Dolphins, well, they have not run a single offensive play with the lead this season. I know you're asking yourself, well, wait a minute, they won a game, Scott. Yes, they did, but they kicked a field goal with zeros on the clock to win. They're the 4th team to play 4 games in the last 20 seasons without having a lead at any point during regulation. Each of the previous 3 to do it finished with 2 or fewer wins, and it came to the end of the season with the #1 pick in the following draft.